Swadikap and good morning. Welcome to the Insider. I am Major General Virachon Sukhontapatipak, Deputy Government Spokesperson. For many years, Thailand has been famous for its economic success. In times of global boom as well as global slowdown, Thailand has managed to survive many challenges. Now, to prepare for the challenges that lay ahead, Thailand is heading in a new direction of prosperity. In 2015, Thailand and the United States will celebrate 182 years of being close allies and diplomatic partners. The rich history between the Thai and American peoples serves as an example of real friendship that was withstood the test of time. Thailand and the United States remained as strategic partners in the world stage in terms of education, development, trade, security, and indeed commerce. If you think about the history of Thai-US relation, AmCham is quite new. It is only 60 years old, but it's covered $50 billion of investment, over 800 companies, and over 250,000 jobs in Thailand. Today, I am delighted to be talking to Mr. Darren Buckley, the president of AmCham and country head of City Country Officer. Good morning, everyone. I am here with Mr. Darren Buckley, president of American Chamber of Commerce, or AmCham, and country head and City Country Officer of City Groups. Welcome to the program. Thank you very much. How should I call you? Darren? Darren. Thank you so much for honoring me, honoring the Insider and being with us this program. And I just want to ask you to tell us a little bit about the American Chamber of Commerce role in Thailand. What are you doing in Thailand? Because you represent the organization. Would you mind sharing with us the role of your organization?
Certainly. Good morning. Thanks for inviting me onto the program. Well, the American Chamber of Commerce actually has been in Thailand now for quite some time. We'll be celebrating our 60th anniversary, I think, very soon. Oh. So hopefully, through that period of time, there have been many engagements between the American business community and the Thai business community that will bring us together for a big celebration. I've been president now. This is my second year as president, and the American Chamber here represents the business interests of the American community here. We have about 800 members. It's one of the larger chambers of commerce, and besides being a group that can look to what would attract greater investment from American companies into Thailand, it's also an opportunity for American businessmen and American investors to be able to network together. And it's an opportunity for the American business community to also involve in social community work, to see how, as you know, I think American companies are very much engaged in social responsibility programs wherever we are, and trying to engage in the local community. So it's a way that we can bring American companies together and try and contribute back to Thailand besides business interests.
Well, thank you very much. This is very important because when we think about relationship between Thailand and our foreign friend, the United States is always come as first. You know, we have a very long history, as you know, 182 years. It is quite long, and of course, American Chamber of Commerce has served as the link between the two countries. In fact, we have connection and link at all levels, but people to people is quite important. It is a foundation of the relationship between our two countries. So your organization is quite significant, and the role of your organization play is indeed further strengthen the relationship between our two countries. And with regard to the relationship, there has been a lot of talk about the relation between Thailand and the United States of America under these circumstances. I don't need to elaborate that, but you may share with us in your view, in your organization views, and people to people. How do you see the relationship between the two countries at this stage?
Well, as it relates people to people, if we talk about that first, I haven't yet met any American visiting Thailand or residing in Thailand that hasn't fallen in love with the country.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful place. It has a rich and deep history and culture, and it's somewhat unique to a certain extent in this part of the world, in Southeast Asia. You haven't had all of the influences that perhaps some of your neighbors have had as European, American, Russian powers back in previous centuries have exerted more influence directly over them than they have in Thailand. And so that unique Thainess, that unique character is something that I think when Americans come to visit or have the opportunity to live here, deeply appreciate. You mentioned, of course, under the current circumstances, that perhaps relations have deteriorated a little bit. And I think when we talk about that, I think we need to put that into context. Yes. First of all, our relationship is 182 years old officially when we talk about the signing of the Treaty of Amity.
In fact, it is longer than that.
It is actually longer than that. In fact, there was a book that was written and it was published by EDM December last year. I think it talks about Americans in Thailand. And actually it's a history of Americans throughout this almost 2 centuries that have helped to engage and improve the relationship and develop ties between the United States and Thailand. In fact, one of the former speakers on your program, one of the guests on your program, Mr. Bill Heineke, he's featured actually on the cover of this book. And if you ever see the book, you'll find someone else on the cover who's kind of interesting as well, but I'll let you go work out who that is. But I think, that 182 years, over this period of time, the relationship between Thailand and the United States has grown and flourished across a broad array of areas. People may think of the relationship being tied more to security, and particularly if you think about how important Thailand was during the Vietnam War and the support that Thailand offered to the United States at that time. And in more recent history, I think the focus of the United States on security in this part of the world, in particular the South China Sea, etc. But the relationship is much more than security. It moves on into medical, it moves into various research, it moves into education, and there are many, many ties, both in government and outside of government in business, that have actually had their education in the United States.
And one thing that the Thai people never forget, that the United States is very important for us, for Thailand, because it's a birthplace of His Majesty. Therefore, it is special. This relationship is special in the heart of the Thai people. And no matter what happens, come rain or shine, the United States of America remains the best friend of Thailand. And of course, we do expect that when it's come to some kind of situation, we expect understanding from our friend. And of course, from your point of view, under these circumstances, you are helping the economic sectors to come to invest in Thailand. You facilitate them and you provide them information. You provide the better understanding of the situation in Thailand to them. Do you see any decline number of the American business sectors, to come to Thailand?
In terms of the business sector, no.
So, by the way, would you like to take something?
Oh, thank you very much. This looks.
Which one?
This looks delicious. Maybe I'll try the salad. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
When it comes to American businesses, if we look at official FDI numbers, there's about $17 billion US of FDI that have been invested over time here in Thailand. But if you look at the cumulative reinvestment of earnings, profits, etc., through this period, it's about $50 billion of accumulated investment in Thailand from American companies. American companies today provide about 250,000 jobs to Thai employees. We are very committed to Thailand. And American businesses are all over the world. We're used to working in some difficult environments. There are many parts of the world which are far, far more troubled than where we are today. If you're out on the streets of Bangkok and traveling around Thailand, it's very safe. It is perfectly fine. It is very calm. And Thais are very warm, hospitable people. American businessmen feel very comfortable coming here, just as there's huge investment from Japan, and the Japanese have been coming here for many years. They too feel very safe.
Well, sorry to cut in. You talk about security in Thailand at the moment, but just not long ago, we have an incident happened in Thailand, the bomb at the Erawan Shrine. How do you see this? Will it have a serious impact on confidence, our friends having for Thailand?
Yeah. Well, first of all, that incident was terrible, absolutely terrible, and condolences clearly go out to everybody who were impacted directly. It was out of character. It was completely different to anything else that we've seen in Thailand, and was something that was totally unexpected. And I think what is reassuring is that the Thai law enforcement agencies have very quickly been able to identify those people who they believe to be responsible. They've made several arrests. At this stage, we believe they may even have the opportunity to extradite, potentially from Malaysia, the person who placed the bomb itself. And so I think people can be reassured on a couple of things. First of all, Thai law enforcement has been very effective in trying to apprehend those responsible. And secondly, it's not related to any of the ongoing issues that have been happening in Thailand over the last few years. It seems to be something which is separate and has more of an international element to it. And so I think the bomb went off August 17th. August 18th, if I remember correctly, about $160 million, $180 million was withdrawn by foreign investors from the stock exchange. But if you look at other events that have been taking place, it hasn't had that impact. And the money the pace of outflow of foreign investor funds has stemmed very, very dramatically after August 18th. And there are other global factors that are actually influencing where global money is moving to, and not least what's happening 16th, 17th of September with the Fed meetings, and whether or not the Fed will raise interest rates in the United States. So I think that's an isolated incident. I don't think there's a sense that it will reoccur. And American businesses, which are very much invested here, no one's looking to leave, no one is looking to pull out, and American businesses are looking to find ways to grow. We want Thailand to be successful, we want the Thai economy to be successful, and with the growth of Thailand, American businesses here will flourish. And that ultimately is what we're looking for.
Well, thank you very much for your kind understanding having for the country and for the Thai people. Your perception, your view is very, very important, and of course, you have inform the viewer that what happened in Thailand, Thailand remain a good place, remain the best place for the tourists to come, and of course for the investor to come to Thailand. And just to share with you that within 1 week time, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha would be going to New York, and of course that is scheduled ahead for him to meet with the business sector. Oh, by the way, he's going to New York to attend the United Nations General Assembly, which will be taking place by end of this month. He will have an opportunity to meet with the U.S. business sectors. So how do you see this opportunity in terms of, because you are represent the U.S. sector, U.S. Business sectors, how do you find this opportunity for both Thailand and U.S.?
Well, I think dialogue's important. And at the end of the day, we certainly can't deny that the United States has a view in terms of what happened May 22nd, 2014. And the U.S. perception has been made fairly clear, I think, publicly. It doesn't need to be restated. But I think also we need to put that into context in one way. Friends and good friends should feel able to speak their minds, and they should be able to not always agree and still remain friends. And while the United States government may have a view on what has happened here in Thailand, that doesn't mean to say that the United States doesn't still value Thailand and the importance of the Thai relationship. It does, and it is important. With that said, I think the opportunity of the Prime Minister to head to New York for the UN General Assembly meetings, I think this is a great opportunity. And I hope it's not the only opportunity that the Prime Minister has. I understand he's going for a relatively short space of time with a very small number of people traveling with him. I would hope that at some point in the future he would want to take the opportunity to perhaps go to the United States with Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Somkit and perhaps some of the economics team and use that as an opportunity to go back and talk to the investor community as well as use it as an opportunity to engage in dialogue with the US government at all levels. The United States is involved in many, many different things, and there are some very serious pressing issues around the world. We see that every day. Thailand, at the end of the day, is focused on some internal issues which are unique to Thailand, and it's for Thais to resolve their differences and how Thailand wants to evolve and develop its own democratic processes. It's not a global issue, it's a domestic issue. And so the United States is focused on many different things, from Syria to ISIS to you name it, there's a lot of stuff. And so US lawmakers, you've only got so much you can cope with. So this is their top 10 list of issues,
Yes.
and Thailand's not part of the top 10. So by taking the opportunity to visit the United States, having the opportunity to have dialogue with key influencers within the United States, will help raise the agenda of Thailand. And hopefully over time it will also help the United States understand exactly what is happening in Thailand and how the current government in Thailand is trying to develop a roadmap that will take Thailand back not only to democracy but to a much stronger democracy with appropriate checks and balances in the future.
I'm sure that the Prime Minister would be more than happy and willing to meet with the American business sectors, as he's always emphasized that what we are doing in Thailand at the moment is not just for the country, it's not just for the Thai people, but we are doing our best, in our best capacity to protect our friends, our international friend interests in Thailand, and to fulfill all commitment Thailand have with our international friends, as well as to honor all obligations Thailand have with the international arena. So thank you very much for your suggestion, and of course you have shared your view that reflect the perception of the business sectors. And thank you very much. And anything else that you believe that we can do? Let's say that from our side, our leader, the Thai Prime Minister, would do his best in order to further strengthen, in order to cooperate with the U.S. sectors, business sectors. In the very near future, I believe within this month, we would have the new U.S. ambassador to Thailand. How do you expect? How do you see? How can the new U.S. ambassador would help the U.S. business sectors?
Well, firstly, I'd say that the current chargé d'affaires, who's been acting as the ambassador, Patrick Murphy, has tried very hard to balance the views of Washington and Thailand and convey appropriate messages. But I think the entire business community is also excited at the chance of having Ambassador Davis arrive here towards the end of the month.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that we would like the ambassador to address, just as I'm sure there are many things that the Thai government would like to discuss with the ambassador when he gets here. I've had the chance to correspond with the ambassador ahead of his visit here, and very much looking forward to meeting him on his arrival. He's got a lot of experience. He's very balanced, and I think that Thailand will find that this ambassador is an ambassador that they can work with and work effectively with. Now, there are a number of things, of course, that the American business community would like, and if you're going to give me that opportunity, I'm going to certainly reinforce a few of those things.
Sure.
We have seen, since this government has come to power, a lot of focus on issues that have been outstanding for some time. And we've seen a lot of focus on anti-corruption. We've seen a lot of focus on the Constitution and trying to drive appropriate reforms and political reforms and driving new laws and regulations. Mm-hmm. Something that is important to the American business community, and I think would also be helpful to driving the economy, would be thinking a little bit more around intellectual property rights, which are still not fully protected here in Thailand, dealing with customs issues, which certainly are long-standing issues that have been well known by the Thai government, and perhaps also taking another look at the services sector and the Foreign Business Act. The Foreign Business Act was something that was written many years ago and was supposed to be revised on an annual basis, and it's never really been revised. And if you think about how Thailand opened up and liberalized its manufacturing sector at a time which was instrumental in driving economic growth for the country, perhaps opening up and liberalizing the services sector at this point in time could bring a new wave of investment and a new wave of economic prosperity on a go-forward basis. There are lots of different things that obviously can be considered, but it's heartening also to see one other thing, and that is that very quickly after Dr. Somkit has taken up his position with his new team as the Deputy Prime Minister responsible for the economy, he's already started to think about fiscal policy measures that can help stimulate the economy. And certainly I think from a monetary policy perspective, we have been very accommodative here, and the Bank of Thailand has done pretty much about as much as it can do. But really now for the economy to move, people need to see a little bit more fiscal stimulus. Already we're starting to see some aid going to the farmers, which I think have been very badly impacted by low commodity prices, by the drought situation, as well as relatively high levels of debt. And we're seeing the SME sector now starting to get some support, and hopefully we'll see a pickup in fiscal policy measures to stimulate the economy. We'll see a pickup in the speed with which we are moving through the infrastructure project agenda, and with that we'll see a pickup in confidence among the Thai population, and that will in turn help drive domestic consumption, and that will be very positive for the economy.
Well, it's quite clear to me that you have follow the government policy very, very well, and you understand the intention of this government, that what we are doing, and of course why we are doing this. Well, thank you very much for sharing with us, of course, and show your understanding about what happened in Thailand. We have such a short time of this program, but we're still with you again next week, and of course this week Mr. Darren Buckley has shared with us his perception, how he viewed Thailand, how he viewed the situation in Thailand, and how he viewed opportunity in Thailand. And of course, no matter what happened in Thailand, he still have a full confidence on Thailand, and he represents the U.S. business sectors, the American Chamber of Commerce. We'll see him again next week, and we will discuss more about the government policy and project, how he can help to support Thailand, and how the Thai government can help to support the American Chamber of Commerce. See us again next week. Thank you very much. Next week, the Prime Minister will lead the Thai delegation to New York to attend two important meetings, the United Nations General Assembly and the Post-2015 Development Summit. This year, the United Nations will mark its 70th anniversary at the General Assembly in September 2015. Member states will meet to review progress and share their vision for our world and common future. The Prime Minister is looking forward to sharing his vision for Thailand with the international community and to informing his peers about progress made in Thailand's roadmaps to reform. With this unique background, Thailand is looking forward to engaging with international community for the new Sustainable Development Goal, or SDG, which will run until 2030. The Prime Minister will share Thailand's experience with the world and convey how sufficiency economy approach can be used for all development nations. Thailand is thus looking forward to his opportunity to make an important contribution to the international community. The team here at the Government House will be updating you on the activity of the Prime Minister and the Thai delegation during his trip